ALORMASOR,
Yes,
good to see you, sir.
good to see you.
I hope you're fine.
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine.
Great. Right. Without further ado, let's start the conversation. Gbagbo rallies opposition against Ouattara's fourth term bid. There's a story that you'd find in today's edition of the Daily Graphic newspaper. You open page 5, the story is there. It says, thousands of Ivorians rallied last Saturday against incumbent leader Alassane Ouattara's bid for a fourth term in office. The demonstrations, the second this week, were led by former President Laurent Gbagbo and came ahead of October's presidential election. Without specifically naming Ouattara, the 80-year-old leader, the African People's Party Côte d'Ivoire, told a large crowd of his supporters to oppose a fourth term. He denounced the president's bid as an unconstitutional shift and demanded the release of activists arrested in recent weeks. In 2016, Ouattara changed the country's constitution, resetting the presidential limit to allow himself to stand for a third term in office in the 2020 polls. Of course, he did run for that third term. He won, and of course, he's seeking re-election. In July, he announced his candidacy, saying both his health and the country's constitution allowed him to serve a fourth term. He said the country was facing unprecedented security, economic and monetary challenges, and that this required management by someone with experience like himself. While Ouattara will likely face several opposition figures in the polls, this will not include Gbagbo. Gbagbo, together with former Prime Minister Guillaume Soro, amongst several leading opposition politicians, barred from running in the poll following court convictions. Although Ouattara has promised a peaceful poll, analysts believe that this is increasingly unlikely given the sidelining of opposition candidates. This is the entire story by the Daily Graphic newspaper. I think they picked it from Africa News, right? So, yep, the developments in neighboring Ivory Coast, as we have heard and seen. A fourth term for Alassane Ouattara. Let me start the conversation with Dr. Marzouk. Let's hear from you, sir.
Good morning to the cherished viewers, and thanks for the opportunity. Special good morning to my uncle and my prince, who is still in a state of mourning, in an African regalia that he doesn't want to accept. But I think it is clear that longevity in many circumstances should not be tolerated in African politics. I'm cautious of my diction because in certain circumstances, it should be, it should be understood. One, if it is the will of the people, there's nothing wrong with that because democracy is the will of the people. So, two, if it is constitutional, if it is what is contained in the Constitution, nothing wrong with that. But if the people themselves are demonstrating against such a move, then it means that it is not good for them. It doesn't reflect their will. You know, Alassane Ouattara has systematically moved from being a democrat to being a dictator. From democracy to dictatorship. That has been his political journey for more than a decade now. And you know, what is surprising to me is that he has been a beneficiary of respect for constitutionally stipulated terms. He has been a beneficiary. When it was time for him to become the president, to win the election, I mean, he won the election, and Gbagbo didn't like that. Because of that, there was a civil war, and almost the whole international community supported him. The imperialist France came and uprooted Gbagbo after the civil war. And at the